All right.
Oh, there's
And there's,
Mary as well. That's lovely. There you are. It was worth waiting, you see.
see? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still
Hey, Mary.
spinning. Give it, there we go. Okay. And then I'm going to record to the computer.
Oh, well done.
And
Great.
hi. All right. So now I'm going to share. Now I have to move this thing again.
You let me know when you feel comfortable.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so hello everyone. Thanks for being here. And we were just having a little chat before we pressed record about how this title came about, and Dov gave me the title, and I was so is Dov there? Is Dov in? Because I can only see a few people. Yeah, Dov's here, isn't he? Yeah, yeah. Um, anyway, it was really funny because I wasn't getting any ideas for a poem. Usually it's just given to me. It just didn't happen. And then I asked, and then straight away I get an email from, oh, you've got the WhatsApp instead of the journal.
Yeah. How do I? Okay, hold on.
Don't
I don't.
worry. You can always
Uh,
pause the recording.
okay, it's just not. Give me a sec. Wow, it popped up. Oh shoot. Okay,
We're, we're having a bit of technical.
we're having
Yeah.
technical.
You can pause the recording if you want, Joni.
Okay, well, why is there we go. It popped up. Okay, sorry. We're back.
Yeah. Or have you pressed record again?
Yeah, it's going.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Anyway, so basically, I asked for that help, and then I immediately get an email from Dove, who supplied me with this amazing title, "Wacky Without Wacky Weed," that somebody suggested on a meeting that he was in, and it was great because sometimes, occasionally, people will say, "Can you write me a poem?" and this, or they'll give me an idea. And by the way, going ahead, anyone's welcome to if there's something that you'd like to explore, if you send me an idea for a title, that's great for me because it helps me to explore, for myself as well. So I love that.
Mind, ask yourself.
Hang on, somebody's coming through. So, is anybody unmuted? No. Joni, is it yours?
No. Oh, I just hit you, Mandy. So undo you, please. Yes.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so yes, if anybody has an idea for a title, you're always welcome to send it. So I'm going to read it then. My friend Dov sent me an idea and planted a seed for a poem about being wacky without taking wacky weed, or living an awakened life instead of being spiritually dead. Because in every single moment, we're so easily led. We all have our weed, our addictions and habits that can pop up any time like a magician's rabbits. Some addictions are fatal and could hasten our demise, and others won't kill us, but our soul's compromised. So I examined one of my own addictions to see any similarity between it and taking drugs or alcohol or any other variety. So, what was my addiction from which I longed to be free? It was a British soap that was on the TV. I'd watched every episode from since I learned to speak, and it was on at least two and then three times a week. The storylines were dreadful, all the characters in despair, yet I was utterly hooked on every episode they aired. It filled my mind with busy thoughts long after each showing. I was so caught in the stories, and it just kept right on going. Then I saw it was an addiction I could no longer ignore. So I surrendered it to God, and He brought me to the shore. I discovered it didn't matter what you were addicted to. They all give short-lived joy and then afflicted you with a dullness, heaviness, exhaustion, and shame, depression, dependence, reliance, and blame. But there is one addiction, a healthy obsession that brings peace instead of guilt and depression. It's a thirst to know God, truth, and what lies beyond all human appearances in this mortal fish pond. It's also interesting, expanding, and mystifying. There's a pull and a passion, there's no denying, but the side effects are clarity, wisdom, and bliss, with bonuses of fun I wouldn't want to miss, and spiritual self-reliance that fills my nights and days. I never feel alone with the one who always stays at the center of my being, always overseeing. He's the one I crave, and I'm the one he saved. So thank you. Thank you, Joni. I thank you. So thank you, Dov, because it really sort of made me explore, and then well beyond the poem. Um, I was musing, and the thought the thought just was given to me. Um, you know, don't put fresh wine into old bottles. And I loved contemplating that one. I don't know if it's put exactly the same in the Bible, but it's pretty much the same, isn't it? Don't put fresh wine into old bottles. And I thought about this this actually encompasses everything, not just an addiction to a television program or a substance. It's in everything. I mean, first of all, we're addicted to thinking and finding out what the next thing is, um, and we get pulled, all the time. And I was recently talking to somebody after I wrote this poem who had been very much into psychedelics and drugs and all that kind of thing. And it was just so interesting to me that the after effects were exactly the same. Like a television program, it sounds mild, but it wasn't mild at all. It literally took all my energy. I mean, I used to, oh, good, it's Wednesday or it's Friday. That soap will be on, And then I wondered why I'd go to bed and it filled with the storylines. I mean, it really was a big addiction. And then when I gave it up, there was like a period of missing it. And then after I thought, no, I've heard that if you spend just 3 weeks dropping the thing completely, whatever it is, if you can do 3 weeks, you've done it. And so, I mean, even after 10 days, it started to just like, all I had to do was not, because I've got a television that records things. All I had to do was just stop recording it. It wasn't on the planner. I mean, it might sound small, but it really was a big thing that took, my spiritual energy away from God. So every time I'd watched a program, I noticed that I'd have to almost crawl back to get into that space of God. Anyway, it was all perfect because these things are. But anyway, I just wondered if anybody had anything to say, particularly about that, not what it means to them, not putting fresh wine into old bottles, because every time I find myself having a repeating thought or anything, I think, oh, I can see what I'm doing here. I'm putting fresh wine into old bottles. I'm doing it again. And so that's been very helpful to me to have been given that phrase. So I shall leave it there and see what anybody has to say if you have anything. And hello to everybody. We've got Mary and Eileen and Lisa and Molly and John. Hello. There we are. What a lovely group. So Did you all see the poem, or would you like it again?
Yeah, let's do it again.
Okay, because we've got. Does everybody that's already heard? Do you mind if we do it again? Is it all right?
No,
Okay,
Not at all.
we'll put it. Thank you very much. We'll put it on again. But there was some noise in the background, so if we just check that everybody's muted, that would be so good. Thank you very much. Okay. Wacky without wacky weed. My friend Dove sent me an idea and planted a seed for a poem about being wacky without taking wacky weed, or living an awakened life instead of being spiritually dead, because in every single moment we're so easily led. We all have our weed, our addictions and habits that can pop up at any time like a magician's rabbits. Some addictions are fatal and could hasten our demise, and others won't kill us, but our soul's compromised. So I examined one of my own addictions to see any similarity between it and taking drugs or alcohol or any other variety. So, what was my addiction from which I longed to be free? It was a British soap that was on the TV. I'd watched every episode from since I learned to speak, and it was on at least 2 and then 3 times a week. The storylines were dreadful, all the characters in despair, yet I was utterly hooked on every episode they aired. It filled my mind with busy thoughts long after each showing. I was so caught in the stories, and it just kept right on going. Then I saw it was an addiction I could no longer ignore. So I surrendered it to God, and He brought me to the shore. I discovered it didn't matter what you were addicted to, they all give short lived joy and then afflicted you with a dullness, heaviness, exhaustion, and shame, depression, dependence, reliance, and blame. But there is one addiction, a healthy obsession, that brings peace instead of guilt and depression. It's a thirst to know God, truth, and what lies beyond all human appearances in this mortal fish pond. It's also interesting, expanding, and mystifying. There's a pull and a passion, there's no denying, but the side effects are clarity, wisdom, and bliss, and bonuses of fun I wouldn't want to miss, and spiritual self-reliance that fills my nights and days. I never feel alone with the one who always stays at the center of my being, always overseeing. He's the one I crave, and I'm the one he saved. Thank you. So that's the poem. That's what we're talking about. So, and then I just was going on to say that we have addictions in every living this life is just a pack of addictions, isn't it? It's stuff just pushing at you, and you know, uh, I think that will always be the case. Yes, Joni. Yeah.
I love these analogies, this patterns or addictions as a used wine bottle. It's when I fall asleep to that and I take the present moment situation and put it in that bottle or repeat that story, I think I'm addicted to judgment. It's got to be my version of approval, my version of control, my little s version of security. And thanks to Rafi and poems like this, I'm aware of it sooner so that I can take it to Holy Spirit or silence, pause, maybe get some inspiration or some guidance, and then release it. release it and giggle and release it and be grateful. And then it disappears. But I'm now so grateful that again, over the years, I see the basic pattern or addiction to being right or to control. And I don't always recognize it until it blows up. So it's helpful to see this as even when it's potato chips when you're feeling sad, or Dateline when it's just because Dateline's on easy, or something. I don't even have to watch TV. I could go for a walk if I just didn't put the addiction of, oh, you know, this is better for me. No, it's not better for me. It's listening to the little S voice. I could ask again. So thanks.
Oh, thanks, Joni. I think that well, that leads me to the conversation we were just having just before we aired, which was just that I was saying that one of the reasons that we give into these addictions is because because we feel sad or bored or whatever it is, something that we see as negative. And I was saying that a big insight for me was one day when I was just plummeted into like a pit of sadness. I just felt so sad. And I suddenly thought, well, hang on, this is just, I'm calling it sadness, but like tomorrow it could be happiness. And I thought, you know, I mean, so what? I just thought it doesn't matter that since there's no good or bad in actuality in God, then if there's a feeling that is different to a feeling of happiness, I don't have to even call it sadness, nor do I have to call happiness happiness. And it's just what's here. And it's absolutely it's perfect. It's fine. It's fine. It really doesn't matter that I'm sad. Whereas previously, I used to think it did matter that I was sad. I used to think it was sad that I was sad. That was the judgment I had. If you all relate to this, it was a judgment on what I was feeling, and that's really what makes us hold on to these things. It makes us hold on to these feelings because we're judging them as they shouldn't be there and they're bad. But when you no longer then you don't fear them when you no longer judge them as good or bad, and that's just what's there now. What is sad about being sad? What's wrong with it? Nothing. What do I have to do? Nothing. So what? Now I'm really deliriously happy. So what? It's just a flow, isn't it? But when we judge it as good or bad, these feelings, that's when the addictions take over, because we think we have to do something so we won't feel those. Uh, you know, um, we think we have to keep dulling down. When I did used to watch a lot of television, um, I asked, and when I came free of it, I asked, what am I doing it for? And I think, because I've done quite a lot of spiritual work today, and that's enough. I just want to what? Dumb down, dull down. Why would I want to dull down the best thing ever? Why would I want to dull down the light? And it's always makes you feel worse, watching television. You don't ever unless you've seen. No, I mean, I will rephrase that, because there's no black or white. I've seen some films that make me feel, I've really invested 2 hours and it's been worthy of my time and it's made me feel wonderful and I've learned a lot and I feel uplifted and it's great. Of course, there are things like that. But for the majority of things on, if you would just watch one program after another, you are dulling down. So that's the nature of addiction. Anyway, so I'd love to hear from anybody else. Yes, Mary.
Well, I just love it. And thank you, Joni, for your comments and your vulnerability of saying you just want to judge. And yeah, that's the first thing that came to me. I'm addicted to judgment. And then I thought, well, really what I'm addicted to is putting other people down. I just want to, and it's really just a habit. And that's what I would criticize my mother for. She was always putting me down. And now I see, so there's this guy at work, and I literally, so he comes over to help me in the section that I'm working, and I literally say, I don't want to work with him. I don't want to work with him. I don't want to work with him. I say it over and over. And then I think about telling my other boss, I don't want to work with him. Get him away from me. And now this guy that I don't want to work with, he's my boss. And it's like, so then I somehow right my boat by I heard something on one of the Course in Miracles calls that when you're irritated by somebody, you say that you could say, um, bless him, change me. Because, I don't want to go the whole day irritated by one person. I've been doing this for 60 years. I don't want to do this anymore. And I could go into, well, what is this person teaching me? What am I learning here? But just simply bless him, change me. Because really, what I would like to do is walk through the world with unconditional love and see everything as God sees it. Live as I have a statement on my wall as I get ready for work. How would God see this? How would God do this? So, oh God, it's hard to admit it, but yeah, I used to just put myself down enough, thinking that I would get better at what? I'd become perfect or something. But really what I'm addicted to is putting other people down right away. Snap thing, putting them down. So thank you for this. I love this poem, and it really speaks to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you. And Joni, thank you so much because yeah, I mean it's you're being very, very honest, but we're all doing that. It'll flicker, these are the things that trigger us, I think as long as we're in a body, these things will happen. And I wouldn't believe anybody who said they didn't. I just wouldn't believe it because it's just, it might be that as we grow more and more, and I can only say this is what I found, that it's seen so quickly that, I think I'm not buying that and drop it. That's not me. That's not who I am. That's just mind, Not always. Sometimes I drop down in there and it's taken a few minutes and then I've seen it. But yeah, I'm the first one to admit that also, that these things just they happen. I think that they'll always happen. This is part of our learning, I mean, seeing somebody as not as good or irritating or whatever. I mean, this is what we're here because we're all as sandpaper, aren't we? We're here to rub each other up the wrong way to make that pebble shine more. So we can even, as be thankful for that because we're in a state where we're noticing it, we're awake to it. And I love what you said. It's lovely. Bless him, change me. That's just perfect. Thank you. Yes, Rafi.
Yeah, what you were talking about before about the welcoming the feelings instead of judging them as good or bad. They're not good or bad. They can't be. They're just feelings. They come up to leave. And when I looked at, okay, addictions, so I looked at, okay, sporting events. And now, instead of getting caught up in the sporting event and a lot, well, I allow myself to get caught up in the sporting, but I use it as an opportunity to release. My team is behind. That's wanting control and wanting security. Okay, let it go. So my team is ahead. Oh, good. That's wanting whatever. I bring up the feeling and let it. So I'm using all and now instead of being caught up in an addicting and getting away from the truth. I'm using it to reinforce me or realign me with the truth. And wow, what a difference. I was watching a basketball game the other night and my team was getting killed. And wanting control, wanting secure, just kept bringing it up and using that because everything is here to service. And when I remembered that, that's what I was doing. I said, "Oh, God, now I was grateful for the addiction because it put me in a place where I can get in touch with feelings I can let go." And and then it didn't matter what the outcome of the game. Oh, it's too bad that they lost, but where am I and what am I? And where am I in the moment right now? Am I at peace right now? What's going? And so everything. And what the other lady said about this guy that kept driving her crazy. That's what he was there for. That's the only reason he was there for. So she can get in touch with the crazy and realize, wait a minute, it ain't him. It's going on in my mind. And how can I fix this? What's he there to show me? That I got to stop being pissed off at other people because it ain't them. They're showing me I got to let this go. It's just it's so perfectly serving. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rafi. I love every word of what you said. I think that also, yeah, beautiful, because the idea of this and the idea of that poem is not give ourselves a hard time because of these things. It's just literally about noticing it. It's just noticing it, really. So because you want to be careful that you're not in judgment of yourself as well. So it's all very subtle, isn't it? Because you could just start beating yourself up. Oh God, I was judging then. Oh God. It's just always being kind and open. Oh, thank you so much, Rafi. Yes, Lynn.
This is a great conversation. I'm having so much fun here. So back to what you were talking about, Mandy, about watching the television shows or the TikTok videos, or whatever it is that recognize that it's me watching me watch me on a screen. So I'm watching myself watching the screen. And so I'm judging myself, I'm judging what's on the screen, and I'm deciding who and what I am based on that. It's all projection, projection, projection. None of it is back at the source of what I really am, which is who's looking at it, that is experiencing it. And so uh, I can I can I can shift myself from that experience. I don't have to believe it. It has nothing to do with me. It's something that's out there that I projected. So anyway, that's one thing. The other thing is that as what Mary was talking about, which we're going back and looking at the obstacles to peace in the Course of Miracles, where Jesus talks about the things that we do to stop ourselves from being at peace. And so, the first one is the attraction of guilt. We look out and we say, "Oh, he's guilty." I'm looking for the guilt in him. I'm seeing the guilt in him, and guess what? I'm experiencing the guilt. I'm projecting it out, but it's because, and I'm looking at it, but I'm attracting it to myself. So I attract situations where I'm going to get put down, upset, criticized, ignored. Whatever it is that I'm thinking is that person is going to do, that person's going to do it, because that's how projection works. That's how projection works. And so when we shift our projection from looking outward for the the guilt, the pain, attraction to pain, attraction to death, all these things we're attracting to ourselves because of what we're focusing on. So it's the shifting of our focus from looking out to see the things that upset us, and instead looking out and seeing the good, looking for the helpers. Like I always say, like Mr. Rogers' mom said, look for the helpers. And when I'm doing that, then, everyone's here to serve me, to help me, to give me what I need, honor me, love me. My whole experience shifts now. Now I am like not only am I the extender of love, I'm the receiver of love. It just is a cyclic thing that happens. And the only thing that blocks that from happening is my decision to stop it through a judgment, by stop it through projection of something that makes me unhappy. or brings me in fear. And so, back to, the poem, then, I'm addicted to looking for things that are wrong. I'm addicted to looking for things that are wrong, looking for people doing things I don't like, looking for something to be in my way, looking for tripping hazards everywhere I go. I'm addicted to looking for that. And I can shift that addiction to being addicted to looking for love. That may that may be a substitution, but it's a happier substitution for me. And so that's my motive ever since Robin Busfield said Lee John Paulsky told her, look for the love. Where is the love? And ever since she would say that over and over and over, and I'm like embedded in my head. That's the thing to look for. So thank you, Mandy.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much. That's great. Thank you. So many truths in what you said. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Dov.
You're muted, hon.
I'm going to build on what Lynn was just saying, by the way, because she is really saying that we're looking in all the wrong places. We're looking at something that's false, but we think it's true. For instance, the ego, which lives in fear, is always looking for things that it has to be afraid of so we could defend itself. And that just keeps on going like being on a merry-go-round. If I defend myself, I'm attacking myself. So I'm always in fear between defend and attack. Now, the funny thing is, when I first raised my hand, I hadn't heard what Lynn had to say, but Lynn is saying the same thing. Today's wacky without the wacky weed is a perfect metaphor for a paragraph in The Happy Learner, chapter 14, section 2. And it says, and I'm saying that this paragraph is the entire course. If you listen, and I would like to read it. And keep in mind being wacky without the wacky weed as a metaphor for what Jesus is saying in The Happy Learner. It says the Holy Spirit.
Dov, can
What?
I stop you for 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
Can you tell me exactly where you are?
Yeah.
Chapter 14.
On page 272 of the FIP book, page 272. It's called The Happy Learner, chapter 14, section 2. And believe it or not, this happens to be today's reading in the year. I mean, I was listening at ACM Gather. They always play the today's lesson and today's text reading. And this is today's text reading. That's how it happened. I mean, it just we live in a sea of synchronicity within an ocean of love. Everything is happening perfectly, just like this title came up. Okay, so did you find it, Mary? Okay, so we're in paragraph 2. It says, the Holy Spirit, seeing where you are, but knowing that you are elsewhere. Already we're in wacky land. Seeing where you are, but knowing that you are elsewhere, begins his lesson in simplicity with the fundamental teaching that truth is true, and that's in italics. Truth is true. This is the hardest lesson you will ever learn. That's what caught my attention when I heard it. This is the hardest lesson you'll ever learn, that truth is true and nothing else is true, but you're spending your entire life studying what's false. You spend your whole life believing in a world that doesn't mean anything, but you give so much meaning to it. Okay, continuing on. This is the hardest lesson you'll ever learn, and in the end, the only one. Simplicity is very difficult for twisted minds. That's a great title, by the way. Simplicity is very difficult for twisted minds. I always love that one sentence. Consider all the distortions that you've ever made of nothing. consider all the distortions that you have made of nothing, all the strange forms and feelings and actions and reactions that you have woven out of it. Nothing is so alien to you as the simple truth. I love it. Nothing is more alien than the simple truth. We have no idea what the truth is. We keep studying and studying. Okay. And nothing that you are less inclined to listen to. So we're not even inclined to listen. And I know that I speak to people about what the truth is. They look at me and say, "Are you crazy?" Okay. So, but you can never tell anybody what the truth is. They can't hear you. I'm just saying that out of years of experience. The contrast between what's true and what is not is perfectly apparent, yet you do not see it. The simple and the obvious are not apparent to those who would make palaces and royal robes out of nothing. I'm sure you love that line.
Love that.
We make palaces and royal robes out of we actually think there are things in this world that's really important. It's so important.
Always tickles me.
Palaces and royal robes that you made out of nothing, believing that they are kings with golden crowns because of that. I'm going to just do one more little short paragraph. All this, the Holy Spirit sees and teaches simply that all this is not true. To those unhappy learners who would teach themselves nothing and delude themselves into believing that it is not nothing, the Holy Spirit says with steadfast quietness, the truth is true, nothing else matters, nothing else is real, and everything beside it is not even there. Let me make the one distinction for you that you cannot make, but you need to learn. Your faith in nothing is deceiving you. Your faith in nothing is deceiving you. Offer your faith to me, and I will place it gently in the holy place where it belongs, and you will find no deception there, but only the simple truth, and you will love it because you will understand it.
Oh, thank you so much. I love that. I absolutely love. So Joni, if you know when those excerpts are, Mary, if one of you could just, not now, but just WhatsApp it to me or something, because I would love to read that for myself as well. Thank you so much, Dov. I really love it when, I just love it when, say, I've written a poem and you or Lynn come up with something that is just sort of saying the same thing but better, obviously, Course in Miracles. I love that though, because that's well, it just brings it out. That it's just, yeah, I love that, putting royal robes on nothing. You know, because I was speaking to somebody today who's recently kind of awakened and trying to sort of work things out in the relationship which she wants to keep, but feels very sort of a bit isolated in it because he sees this, and it's challenging for people that are waking up to be with people who maybe aren't quite waking up, and who are still putting these robes on nothing when the other person's dropped all that. So it's very interesting, that, and yeah,
I'm
very.
sending it to you now, by the way. I'm sending that whole thing to you.
Oh, thank you, I love that. I'll send it on. I'll send it on as well.
Very good.
Send
Okay.
it, my
Very
friend.
nice.
Thank you so much. Yes, Mary.
Well, thank you for that, Dove. That was really beautiful. Thank you. The happy learner. I want to be a happy learner. So I just put that intention out, and now I know how to do it. But Lynn said something that triggered me to uh, something that we look for the stones, but if we look to God first, seek God first, and all else will be added to us, onto us, that there'll be no stones. And so this is something, when I got a new book this year, after 10 years of writing in my book, I couldn't even read the book. So I had to get a new book. And I found that the distribution center, they have things like little posters and things you can attach to your window, and calendars with A Course in Miracles statements in it. But so this is one little poster I got, and I try to, and I have this on my wall as I'm getting dressed for work too. So it's like, it goes like this. Once you accept his plan as the one function that you would fulfill, there will be nothing else the Holy Spirit will not arrange for you without your effort. So you don't have to effort. It will be arranged for you by the Holy Spirit. He will go before you, making straight your path and leaving in your way no stone to trip on and no obstacles to bar your way. Nothing you need will be denied you. And that's from A Course in Miracles. I took a picture of it, but I don't know exactly where it's
I
located.
know exactly where it is.
Okay,
It's
great. Thank you.
chapter 20, section 4, paragraph 8. It's called Entering the Ark. Chapter 20, section 4, paragraph 8. That's
Okay.
one of the famous
Thank you.
paragraphs in the course.
So I just need to remember what's my plan, go with God's plan. One of the things that I'm addicted to is staying up till all hours of the night, getting everything done because I need to do it, or I think I do. So I'm on the computer, I'm listening to podcasts. I just, so I'm hurting myself with not getting enough sleep, thinking that it's an addiction. It's not just saying, look, I'll just put you first. And so I'm practicing this. For about 5 months, I've been looking for a new place to live and finding out how to do it with going to work and trying to take care of myself, doing my lessons, but also having 6 people that are close to me in the last 8 months go to the next zip code. And it's it has brought a lot of grief and a lot of reaction from me. And so I've been kind of stymied and paralyzed and haven't been able to get what I need to get done. But but I see how addicted I am to, I got to find this and get somebody to help me with this. And really, what I do is I just put God first, and people say, "Oh, I'll help you with that," or "I can be there," or "If you need help, I'm here." So, I love that, Lynn, that you said that you look for the stones, and I look for the stones too, the obstacles. But this is just saying, once you accept his plan, so that is a big one, to accept, to accept God's plan. And as the one function that you would fulfill, there will be nothing else the Holy Spirit will not arrange for you. And as I practice this statement that I've been doing for the last 5 months, I'm seeing it happening in my life, and it's quite beautiful. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. I mean, for me, I just have one sentence that I just use use all the time, which is Christ liveth my life, not I. That just brings me back straight there. It's so quick. Christ liveth my life, not I. And the other one, don't put fresh wine into old bottles, because that's the addictive, repetitive thought, repetitive patterning. You see, oh, you're having that thought again, you're having that pattern. You don't need to do that, because you can't put your hand in the same piece of water twice, but Christ liveth my life, not I. It's so settling, and it just gives you just that tiny tad of pause, that brings you back. That's all we're all doing all the time, just pulling ourselves back, I mean, we make a great effort about learning not to effort. because we put so much effort into everything. But something, I mean, it might be a different sentence for somebody else. Of course it will. But for me, Christ liveth my life, not I. I just happen to love that sentence, and it makes me just drop, just immediately drop. Hang on, you know, who's doing what here? You know, you see. So thank you very, very, very much indeed, because this is all great. Yes, Lynn.
To go along with that, thank you so much. This is another place in the Course of Miracles in text chapter 14, section 4, paragraph 6. It says, this is awesome. When you have learned how to decide with God, all decisions become as easy and as right as breathing. There is no effort, and you will be led as gently as if you were being carried down a quiet path in summer. Only your own volition seems to make deciding hard. The Holy Spirit will not delay in answering your every question what to do. He knows, 2-word sentence, he knows, and he will tell you and then do it for you. You who are tired will find this more restful than sleep, for you can bring your guilt into sleeping, but not into this. So when I learn how to decide and let God, the Holy Spirit, decide for me, I need do nothing. Of course, it's true. I need do nothing because the script is written, it's already done. All I'm doing is walking through it. So now I can walk through it without guilt, because I've turned everything over to the Holy Spirit, to God, to do for me. And I don't have to do it. It's, and that's what I've found. I've discovered there is really nothing to do. Everything just happens. And I'm just here going, wow, that's cool. Because, what is there for me to do? Nothing.
I mean, absolutely, because the thing is that when you're doing that, when you're deciding with God, when you're letting Christ live your life, or exactly every word of what you've just said, Lynn, you are creating a void. In that void, that's where God gets through. It's just so funny that we think we can decide things and know things. I mean, this is just not possible in the mind. It's just not possible to know what lies ahead or how things are going to be. And it's so ridiculous, not just you, Mary. I'm just talking generally, but it kind of gets more and more ridiculous to think that we could ever know what is best for us. We're just like a child, we can't know what's best for us. There is no us. All we are is opinions and memories. That's all we are. Thoughts, opinions, and memories. This is what we identify with as us. But like with every word that you've just spoken, Lynn, then you're just dropping all that, and you're creating that void through which multitudinous ideas come through. The thoughts of God. The thoughts of God are actually usually silence, but suddenly a knowing of, oh yeah, yeah. you know so but circumstances can look like they're forcing us, well, the thing about home and survival and all that, it can kind of definitely look like that. But if at those times you can be at your bravest to sort of just allow this void minute by minute, whenever you can do it, then this just, we're just carried. We're carried, You are carried, Mary, if you just, we are carried, Yeah. Mm. I love
Yeah,
what everybody said. Sorry, Lynn, go on. Yeah.
I was going to say that next move is already done.
Oh, yeah.
And you're already with the people that you're going to be with, and you're already where you're supposed to be. It's just, letting go and letting it happen. And you know that things have come up when you've had great plans, think you know what you're going to do, and then something else comes up that is completely different, and you end up taking that completely different path and doing something that that changed everything for you. And I know that that's happened. It's happened for me many times. And what Jesus is telling us in the course, don't plan. There's no reason, there's no cause, because it's already done. And and today's lesson, I'm not going to go into it because we don't have time. But I encourage everybody to read lesson 153 and contemplate it, because in my defenselessness is where my safety lies. When I don't think I need to do anything, I am completely safe and whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for that. Yeah, and I mean, it's like Rafi. I don't know if you're going to say this, but it's like Rafi always said, most of it is control. We all want to control everything, don't we? It's about relinquishing control of all those things. It's relinquishing control. But anyway, Rafi, carry on.
What this reminded me of was what Dove always says, and Leslie used to say the same thing. We're the dreamers of the dream. I'm the dreamer of my dream. I put this entire dream out there, and I put it out there for my benefit. It's there to serve me. It's there to show me what I and so in that regard, I did that. I put it out there, and it's not the ego I, it's the capital I. I put this out there for my and everything that's going on is happening in my best interest, so I can learn to wake up to the truth of what I am, and it isn't real. It's like Leslie used to said, yes, it's a dream, but it's a dream. It's perfect, but it's a dream that never was. So when I get to that point, the next step is now what? Well, there is no what. There's only now. Just be. And we're right back to the simplest thing of all is just be. Well, I mean, to an ego mind, be is impossible because it got no idea what that is. But that's the reality. I love getting to that point where now what?
Now,
There's no what. There's now. Be. Thank you.
thank you, Rafi. Thank you.
Well, the other thing I love is what Ramana Maharshi said. Your biggest problem is that you think you were born, and that got me back to cute. And every time I do cute, I laugh my head off. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that. Lovely. Thank you. Yes, Joni.
It just reminds me that, what everybody is saying, whether it's a script and it's an illusion, I can either suffer in pain or I can still choose joy. There's always gratitude. There's always an awareness of the perfection. And it's only me who suffers, nobody else. I mean, it's just an opportunity. Eat popcorn and laugh because it's cute, or suffer. So thanks.
Thank you, Joni. Yes, Dov.
Yeah. Everything I was saying earlier, how we're looking at the wrong thing, reminds me, I happen to be a big fan of spy movies. I like movies about spies.
Me too.
Also, counter spies. Now, what happens is when they recognize that you're a spy, they feed you false information to throw you way off. Actually, generals of armies do that, like Eisenhower when he was going to make an invasion in Normandy. They sent out different plans so that the Germans thought it was going to be elsewhere. So that's exactly what's going on here. It's like as soon as they know now, Dove is listening, trying to listen to good information, and the ego says, "Well, I'll give you all the information you want." And Eckhart Tolle says, "You don't need more information. Anything about form is deceiving."
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Ken Wapnick always says, "Never confuse form with content."
I love that. That is great. I love that. And just even the line feeding false information. Oh, Dov, that was really valuable. Thank you so much. Now, on a practical level, Joni, I know you have to get off, so we don't have to. It's nearly past. Have we got time to put the poem on? We don't have to put.
Yes. Oh, yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay, we'll just finish with the poem. Thank you all for your amazing contributions. I've learned so much, and I just love everything that's been said. Thank you so much. Right. Okay. Does anybody else want to read this? I've read it twice, so I'm happy if anybody else wants to read it.
I'll read it.
Yes, you read it. Is that Dove? Yeah, you should read it. It's your title.
Okay. Wacky Without the Wacky Weed by Mandi Solk. My friend Dove sent me an idea and planted a seed for a poem about being wacky without taking weed, or living an awakened life instead of being spiritually dead, because in every single moment, we're so easily led. We all have our weed, our addictions and habits that can pop up anytime, like a magician's rabbits. Some addictions are fatal and could hasten our demise, and others won't kill us, but our souls compromised. So I examined one of my own addictions to see any similarity between it and taking drugs or alcohol or any other variety. So what was my addiction from which I belonged to be free, which I longed to be free? It was a British soap that was on the TV. I watched every episode from since I learned to speak, and it was on at least 2 and then 3 times a week. The storylines were dreadful, all the characters in despair, yet I was utterly hooked on every episode they aired. It filled my mind with busy thoughts long after each showing. I was so caught in the stories, and it just kept right on going. And then I saw it was an addiction I could no longer ignore. So I surrendered it to God, and He brought me to the shore. I discovered it didn't matter what you were addicted to, they all give short-lived joy and then afflicted you with a dullness, heaviness, exhaustion, and shame, depression, dependence, reliance, and blame. But there is one addiction, a healthy obsession that brings peace instead of guilt and depression. It's a thirst to know God, truth, and what lies beyond all human appearances in this mortal fish pond. It's all so interesting, expanding, and mystifying. There's a puff and a passion. There's no denying, but the side effects are clarity, wisdom, and bliss, with bonuses of fun I wouldn't want to miss. And spiritual self-reliance that fills my nights and days. I never feel alone with the one who always stays at the center of my being, always overseeing. He's the one I crave, and I'm the one he saved.
Oh, beautifully read, Dove. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you all so much. It's just been a privilege spending time together. I love you very much, and hopefully I'll see you all next week. And thanks
Thank you,
very much
Mandy.
to Joni and Lynn for spreading the word and supporting me and everything, and this wonderful gathering without which we couldn't have it. So thank you. Okay, thank
Love
you.
you guys. Love you, Mandy. Love you, Joni, Dove, Mary, all of you guys. Love you all so much. Thanks for
I sent you all the things from the Course in Miracles. Everyone I know I sent,
Oh,
including
great.
you, Joni.
Excellent.
Mary, I don't have your email, but I think you read it.
I
Okay.
did.
Love,
Thanks,
and I don't
everybody.
have yours, Sharon.
Lisa, hello, Lisa.
But I guess Sharon,
Thank you so much.
Oh,
that you know where to get it, right?
yeah.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Love you.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys. I love
Bye,
you.
Lisa.
Love you, Joe.